It's time to start.
Hey,
Well, hi, this is Jim Morgan. I'm with Caring Transitions, and this is Life's Co-Pilot, which is something that we bring to the public because, frankly, it's really hard to find good, solid information on everything senior out there in one place without having to lose your mind trying to dig underneath things to find it. So we do these twice a month, and I'm excited today because we have with us Sloane Thompson, and she is the executive director with Prime Life Enrichment in Carmel. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a pretty cool place. It's kind of hidden in a place you wouldn't think to look for it. Okay, so you have to do a little bit of reconnaissance, I suppose. But so in any case, I'm going to introduce you. Tell us about yourself, Sloan, and where you come from and what you guys are doing over there.
sure. Happy. Thanks for having me, Jim. So I joined Prime Life as the executive director in January of this year. My career prior to this was many, many years in career development and student services for universities. Then I spent about 8 years with startups, both private, companies and nonprofits. And then I myself had started to look for places like Prime Life because I'm entering that stage of life. I often tell people I'm 62 and my body at 55 started telling me some different things, which I was not real happy about. But I'm determined as having two wonderful role models in my parents, both who lived to be 82 and 91 and were home and really experienced, I think, a very vibrant life, always involved, always learning, always active. They had a piece of property of 14 acres of land and took care of that. And so aging well matters to me. And I think Prime Life is just a perfect place to do that. That's what we're all about. It is a wellness center for folks over 50. We do have people in the building. I will tell people from ages 0 to 100. And that is because in the evenings, we actually rent our heated pool, which during the day, our center is open currently 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that's when we have most of our seniors, folks over 55 here, doing fitness classes, water and land, using our indoor track. We are a 20,000 square foot facility that has those things I just mentioned, as well as a big multi-purpose room, a library, places where we have more than 50 different activities going on every week. So everything from all forms of card games and mahjong to lunch and learns and singing groups and creative writing groups and an art class on Wednesdays. So those are the activities that are non-physical fitness related. We have about 40 physical fitness classes every week, as I said, land and aquatic. So it's a really vibrant place with about 500 or 600 members. And as you said, we might seem a little bit off the beaten path, but we are literally down the street from the Palladium. So if you do know that area of Carmel, we are in one of the older buildings over by Carmel Drive. But we've got a nice sign out front and a big, our logo, a sort of a active person on the building. So yeah, that's a little bit about us
You're
and
next to
happy to tell
the
you more.
skating rink, aren't you?
We are right next to
Yeah.
Carmel Ice Stadium.
Okay. So, for people that may know where that one is, so tell me of your path. You were through colleges. Are you from here locally or?
Well, I've been in Indiana since 94,
Okay.
but I did spend my growing up years predominantly in the New England area, upstate New York and Connecticut, and then came out to Indiana to do some graduate school work in Bloomington and never left. Thought I was going to be here for 2 years, and I have now lived in Indiana longer than where I grew up.
There you go. So tell me about how long has Prime Life been around?
That's a great question. We were founded on April 1st, 1977. So next year we will be 50. And we were started as Hamilton County Senior Services. So for about 25 years, that was more of our name was that. And then we rebranded to Prime Life Enrichment 25 years ago. And so, yeah, we're going to celebrate both of those birthdays next year. We actually kind of kicked off some of the celebrations this year because it's kind of like we were born in April and we'll turn 50 next year, just like you turn one a year
There you
later.
go.
So,
That would be
yep,
fair.
yep.
So it's kind of like, it's very nice for you to have it on my 20th birthday is when you guys opened. That was nice. So anyway, so, so, um, well, so tell me, has it always been the same thing, or is it been evolving, or what's
It has
what was the
definitely been
initial
evolving.
purpose for it, and then now where is it?
Yep. So the initial purpose in 1976, 77 is when the Older Americans Act was formed. So that's when you have the beginning of a lot of senior centers, senior services, because the federal government said, yeah, we need to, it's worthwhile to put some money towards this. So here in Hamilton County, we started with more of the kind of services that were like being a resource. We did not have a facility like this. We did not do any of these fitness classes and things. We really were a bit of a resource broker, and then also doing things like going to people's homes, which some of the things that we did are actually handled by another agency here in Hamilton County, Shepherd Center of
Okay.
Hamilton County, does a lot of those kinds of services. So we have very complementary things going on. We don't really do much that is the same, but that means we can meet a lot of the needs in Hamilton County between our two organizations and another organization called the Senior Organization. I feel terrible. I've got Bob's card. Senior Citizens Activity Center in Noblesville.
Okay.
So,
Well, Shepherd
but
Citizen
yeah,
knows as well, right?
yes. Well, yep. But when we evolved, as you said, that I would say it's when Prime Life came into existence. That executive director at the time, I'm forgetting her name. I have not met her, but I think she was really our executive director for 20 years or more. A lot of this is her vision.
Okay.
This building that we're in was some kind of a manufacturing warehouse, something. It was gutted and really came into to have all that we have here. It's really a wonderful place. I hope people will come visit because you really kind of can't believe what's here until you walk in the door and then really get to see all that we do here.
But you would have like a little thrift shop there too, don't you?
I was just thinking of that, so I'm glad you mentioned it. Yes, when you walk in our front door, you're in our reception area, but right to the left, and you can start to see it, is a thrift store. So we have donations certainly every week, if not every day, coming in. And we have an amazing volunteer who leads a group of volunteers, but she really does all the merchandising. It is very much handled like a retail store. Like it is merchandised and stuff moves around and it's seasonal and the bargains are amazing. I mean, some of the clothing has tags on and they're $3 or $5 and shoes and household goods and all kinds of things like that. And it is one of the ways that Prime Life, we are a nonprofit. So we have members, so they pay a membership fee, a monthly membership fee, basic level or enhanced. We can
What does that mean?
bill. So what it means, our basic membership is going on August 1st. The prices are going up. We haven't raised prices since 2019 or earlier than that. So a basic membership will be $25 a month. And that gets you all of those activities I mentioned, anything we're doing here, which includes a lunch every day as well, and coffee, and we have donated bagels and yummy things like that. Plus our indoor track and a fitness room. So with fitness equipment, all of that is part of the basic membership. If you want to be able to participate in any and all of the fitness classes, then you get an enhanced membership, which will be $50 a month as of August 1st. And we do bill, though, if someone has the insurance benefits like Silver Sneakers and Silver and Fit and Renew Active, we can bill those insurance programs, which generally covers our basic membership. So
Okay.
when people have that, they've got that covered.
Oh,
But our
then they don't have to pay. It's going to be paid by their
right,
advantage plans, or
yep, for the basic level, and then if they want the enhanced, all the fitness classes, they're essentially paying half
okay.
because they'll pay like the $25 a month on top because the other is covering the basic. So yeah,
Okay.
so that's part of, but those membership fees do not cover what it takes to
Well, I would imagine.
run this organization. But it is one way that then Our thrift store does bring in few hundred, several $100s a week for us. So that goes into part of what we do. We do have grants. The Hamilton County, the city of Carmel have supported us. We have SECOA, the Central Indiana Council on Aging, some private, lots of private donations, both foundations and individuals. So yeah, as a nonprofit, we're getting ready to do a big new annual fundraiser called Raise the Paddle on September 26th. So there's just, you have a lot of different funding streams to help this organization be all that we are.
Do you do cooperations with other organizations for like some of your activities? I mean, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like, um, that what? No, I'm drawing a blank. The boxing thing with Parkinson's, or
Okay, we do.
climb,
So,
or
yep, climb is what we do. So we don't have rock steady boxing here, but we do work with the Indiana Parkinson's Foundation, and we have the climb class Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 a.m. So folks who have Parkinson's, it's a program designed specifically for folks who have that disease. But our climb program probably has at least 20, if not 30 participants or more every day in that. And only about a third of them actually have Parkinson's. It's such a wonderful program, and we don't restrict it. But it is one that we partner with the Parkinson's Foundation. We do have a lot of partnerships with groups like Centerwell, some folks that come and do lunch and learns for
right.
us every Wednesday.
I've
We
done
have
a
a
few of
lunch and
those for you.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for doing that. Yes, our members love that. And we have a memory cafe every
I was going to ask if you did.
yep, every third Friday from 2:30 to 4. And so very often we have social workers and folks from facilities like Wellbrook of Carmel, and trying to think of some of the others who are getting ready to do it for us. There's a hospice group. But those folks then, they're taking time out of their day to come over here and work with, do a specific activity either for a specific group or for our entire community, as you did. Like the lunch and learns are for anyone. And those are our lunches are open to anyone. You don't have to be a member here. Our lunch and learns are open to anyone. So people can come here and just get a little bit of community and socialization and some good food and a little bit of, good information. If they discover that there's things here that they would really like to do more, then, we give them a tour and welcome them to become a member, but you don't have to do some of those things I just mentioned. The other big thing that we do is a transportation program, which currently is free. In years past, we have charged, and we may need to do that again, but we currently have some funding through SECOA, a Title III program that helps with that. And our transportation program also is not restricted to members. So anyone who lives in Hamilton County and who is a senior, who needs to get to a doctor's appointment, to the grocery store, or would want to come to Prime Life and they don't drive anymore, or they don't have transportation, or it's costly for, the gas, they can get signed up in our transportation program and then have free transportation from wherever they live to one of those things that I just mentioned, like an
Wow.
essential service.
I didn't realize that you would also do like things that were not directly coming to the center, but that's good.
Yes. And last year we did over 10,000 rides
Okay.
across the county.
Is there a fee for that, or?
There is not. So we do encourage donations because it is a very costly
Well, you're paying
program.
for gas, you're paying for a driver, maybe you're paying for a driver.
Pay for a driver. Our vehicles, they're handicap accessible. They, we pay insurance on them and all of that. So we actually currently have a fleet of 8. We had 11, but we've retired a couple of vehicles, and we're getting ready to apply in January, hopefully for at least 1, maybe 2 new vehicles, which is a partnership with Indigo that gets federal monies, and we would be paying 15% of the cost of a brand new vehicle. And the ones that are out there right now actually that we would go for could have 2 wheelchairs in them, as well as another 6 or 8 passengers. So we really can accommodate a lot of needs. And our
that's good.
drivers
I didn't
love
know
to
that you
do it.
guys did. I mean, I could see, but taking them to the center, but I didn't know you were going other places. So my
Yeah.
my parents benefited. There was, I think it's called Hamilton County Transport or something like that. It's
Yep. Hamilton County
they've had,
Express.
yeah, they've had good luck. They had good with them, but there was a nominal fee, but it was.
Yeah. And that's what if we charge, we're hoping to be like just in line with them.
Yeah,
We actually partner with them. We participate in some transportation collaboratives, if you will, so that we can, when they can't meet a need, they will call us. Our transportation only runs through 3:30 p.m. So sometimes they're a little later than we are. And we don't do some of the things like taking someone to a hair appointment or to something
yeah,
that's just more fun, whereas they do. And you're right. I have
yeah.
a good friend who just used them. She broke her wrist, and so she can't be driving right now. And they took her at a hair appointment, but we're getting ready to take her to some doctor's appointments. So,
Well, there you go. Well, there was a. I think it had a restriction. It didn't leave Hamilton County when it was last night when they were using it, but
correct. Yep, it does not. And we do for medical appointments, we'll go down to like 86th Street. We've got a couple
yeah.
places where there's clusters of
There's like a
medical
bunch of doctors' offices and stuff right
facilities.
down there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we will take, but you do need to be a Hamilton County resident, and then we'll take you to some of those places for those essential services. And we do even take veterans all the way down to Bush downtown.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. So, I've been there and I've seen, people doing like having all kinds of crafts going on and, different things like at those tables, and there'll be different things going on in different areas there in that place. So, and so I've seen a lot of activities there. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone in the pool, but I just, when I happen to be
Oh,
there,
you must have missed it because yeah, we have quite a few pool rats,
yeah,
as they would
yeah,
say.
so
They
yeah,
love it. They even do volleyball and they do aqua zumba and yeah. So and some of them tend to be the earlier birds. They like their 8:30 classes and
yeah.
their 9:30 classes. So yeah, it's pretty active. In the afternoon, it's a little quieter, and we're getting ready to bring yoga back, which is nice to have around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon because the center is getting a little quieter. So to do an activity like that is nice. And we do have evening classes, and the evening classes are a little more higher intensity aerobics. So that does tend to be maybe family. It can be anyone who's over 21, actually, but a lot of folks are maybe caregivers, and this is some of their time away, or they're in their 50s and they still want something a little more vigorous, and they're working. So being able to come to a 5:30 or a 6 or a 7 p.m. class, we have those in the building as well, and those are Prime Life classes.
So is it, just making sure that people don't get the wrong. You're not someplace that somebody can drop someone off for a respite type thing for the day. Right? You're not. You need to have people that are capable of being on their own. I assume, take care of themselves.
Yes, yes. That's a great way to put it. We certainly have people who are not engaging in the fitness components, even maybe, although there are several folks who are using a walker who are using our track. Because again, in a space like ours, it's a little more intimate than some of the other facilities that people might consider going to for their physical activity. So there's all levels of physical fitness here, but we do have some people who will come and they are independent enough, but what they do here are those more quiet activities. They're playing a strategy game or they're doing a puzzle and not necessarily jumping into all the aerobics. So it's a really wide range. But yes, we're not a daycare center, but we
I just
do
want to
have
make sure
some of
people
our
understood that because it kind of
yeah.
sounds like it. Who would agree, but it's not, right? So yeah,
Right, right. But I do want people to realize that like there is that whole range. We have some people who come who are like their needs are more to just be quiet at a puzzle table and to have some socialization. And they may have a retired daughter with them who's actually comes, and it's just a nice space to be in. And there is maybe a little bit of respite. You're not, the meal is being cooked. So you
right,
can actually eat
right,
here and you don't
exactly.
have to, but they're not just dropping them off if they aren't capable of being on their own, because we don't have staff that are taking care of people who maybe incontinent or have that. But some of our members whose diseases progress and they've maybe been we have people who've been members for 20, 30, and 40 years that have formed some of their best friendships here. And they may travel together. We have a travel club that just came back from Portugal. They went to Iceland last year. They're getting ready to go on a Rails to Sales trip next year, which is sort of Boston to Boston and all up in New England. So instead of going out of the country, they're staying here. But the folks who've been with us a long time and whose physical condition is going down and they can't do some of the things they did, if they need a caregiver here and they are using a service like Visiting Angels or something like that, they will come and their caregiver will be with them so that they can still have the community that they've been a part of for such a
Right.
long time.
Very good. So you're new since January, from what I
Mm-hmm.
understand.
Yep.
I have known some of your predecessors, okay? And one of the things
Uh-huh.
that seemed to be a common theme was how do we grow the community? So, your center, okay? So, that's probably why you were brought in. So, part of it. So, what kind of ideas do you have that you're trying to move on with, to continue to be able to serve what you're serving and enhance it further?
Yeah. Well, I would say we've got some, and then part of that is something I'm still noodling on. So,
Okay.
coming in at and not being quite here 6 months, there's a lot, of course, that I'm
Right, you're
learning
getting
and
your head
doing.
wrapped around it.
Yeah.
But you've
So
got to have
some of the
ideas that you'd love to try to see if you could get
Well,
material.
I do. What I will say, I mean, some of the things that we are doing right now that are bringing new people in we are an AARP Planet licensed Senior Planet organization, which means all of these free technology kind of classes for seniors, things for how do I use my phone well, even, doing the photography on it, like panorama and all that, or downloading the apps or protecting privacy online. What is AI? We just did Is It AI today. Those are all free workshops. We have trainers who are trained. Senior Planet requires you to go through some pretty extensive training to lead those. Well, new people are coming in the center because they hear about that and they
Right.
didn't know we existed. We are partnering with Carmel's library. And so once a month, we're doing it there in the library. So last month, we had 24 people signed up, 16 came. They were there to hear the topic of protecting your medical information online. But we were sponsoring it. So they learned about us. And I had 4 people come up and say, I want to take a tour. I want to come see your place. I've never been there. So those kinds of outreach, when we can partner and get the word out, we're going to be at Dementia Friendly Westfield's kickoff. So it's a brand new thing in Westfield, and we're going to be there. So those are not, the Senior Planet is kind of neat and unique.
Right.
But going out and being at a farmer's market or whatever, that's certainly been done before. One of the things that Lisa Engelman, who was going to join me tonight, but she's moved on to something else. She had created some really neat ideas for working with companies who have employees that are really in a caregiving role. Now
Yeah.
their parents are aging. And so what might those employers be able to offer as a benefit and how might we partner with them?
Well, that's a
So
great
those are
idea.
some,
I
yeah,
statistically, according to dementia friends, okay, or whatever, and some of the different classes I've taken, is I am hearing the way I understand it, okay, is that 1/3 of all households have a caregiver caring for someone in that household, and it could be a senior, it could be a child. I guess, but I'm not talking about a child, but it's like unless it's a child that has special needs. But it was like either a special needs child, a parent or grandparent, or maybe a veteran that's injured, or or something that that falls into one of those categories. 1 in 3. That's a lot of
yeah,
people.
it is. It is. And that's where again, the ability to have a place for people to have community and the caregiver to not have to be the one also to shut them to maybe every doctor's appointment with our transportation
Yeah.
program, things like that. So I have not, in all honesty, been able to fully study what Lisa left me as a wonderful
Right.
blueprint, I think, and to get out there. But that's another way we want to grow awareness of here. And the other thing, what I am noodling on, and I have not come up with the answer. So just as you said, I don't really have the ideas, but um, a lot of people don't know that I'm actually in something called Generation Jones. This is more recent something. So it's the last 10 years of what has been known of the boomers. So before Gen X and the boomers. And so we are a little bit different than boomers. And so I am really trying to noodle on what are some of the characteristics that are different for my generation, because we would be the ones coming in here at sort of the stage that our current members who started 20 and 30 years ago were. But we're a little different. And then Gen X will be behind us. So those characteristics, there are definitely things generationally different. And I want to, like I said, I haven't come up with all the answers, but I really do want to be thinking about what those characteristics are and what we need to do to make sure people know about us and that we're the kind of place that we would want to come.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I know that, we as I think I missed a meeting, and that's how I got to be president of this organization. Because he was like, "Hey, get it to him. He's not here." But Fisher's Historical Society, at the moment, I'm president of that, and we're a little bitty group of people trying to do something with no money and very little human resources. So we're always trying to find free avenues to do that, right? And so one of the things that we do is what we're doing right now. In fact, I stole this idea that we had earlier for Life's Copilot, and I do a Fisher's History Chat the first Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. and I bring someone in that has something relevant to say about that. And it's a free resource, and we're getting 3,000 and 4,000 people viewing these. So apparently there is a desire for it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, like just this last weekend, because of the America 250, program, everybody's trying to figure out, something. And so the Hamilton County Historical Society had an event in the library at Noblesville and invited all of us to have a table there. So there was the Fishers and the Westfield and the Sheridan and the Noblesville and the Carmel and Robert's Settlement, which a lot of people don't even know existed, but it's up in northern
I
Hamilton.
live in Westfield, so I'm on all of that
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yep.
So we ended up all having booths there, and it was the first time they've done such a thing. But we had like 80 people there, and it was very well received. And I didn't even know what to put on my booth. It was kind of like, okay, I just got some stuff off my shelves, my own private collection and stuff, and was able to tell some war stories about Fishers because I've been there forever. But those kind of things, might be something that, maybe even have a host something like that, where you
Absolutely.
bring in the Carmel because,
Absolutely.
I would imagine your clientele, okay, would like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So some of Lisa's ideas were also open houses for some of the caregivers and companies. And, we always have tours. One of the things I just thought of when you were saying that I'm very excited about, our program manager just a couple weeks ago said, Sloane, I wonder if we could ever be in the Carmel parade, right? The floors, and I said, well, yeah, that'd be great. And I said, why don't you call him? Because I'm guessing like we have to like get on the list, a year ahead of time. Like, let's find out. Well, she got to talking to me like, you want to be in it this year? So she asked me and I said, yeah, let's do it. So our vans that are all branded because they go around, we're going to
Right.
have one of those it's the first time we're ever going to be in the parade.
That's cool.
Which is so cool. And we're going to have people in the van and waving flags, but then we're going to have people walking behind it carrying some funny signs to talk about like who we are and with a humor and come to see us. We also are, which I'm equally excited about and glad, is we did in years past. I don't know why we stopped doing it in recent years, but we did provide a service for the folks who were in the parade, which was to use some of our vehicles and shuttle them back and forth between the end point and getting back to their vehicles at the beginning point. And so Carmel was so excited for us to do that because they were trying to talk to a limousine service or something, and it's probably really costly and all kinds of things. So it was just so neat that we're doing that, which I'm really happy to be supporting everybody in the parade in that way that we can do with some vehicles that we have that wouldn't have been in use that day anyway. But for us then to be in the parade, I think there's still 20,000 people who see it. So at least our van, it's never been out there for 20,000 people to see at one time. So that's pretty exciting.
Very cool. Yeah, so you're doing lots with veterans as well?
We do some. Actually, veterans get a basic membership free. So
Okay.
that's one thing for people to know. And yes, we'd love to have veterans. Our transportation coordinator happens to be a veteran, as is our facility manager. So one of the wonderful benefits of having a somewhat recent veteran, I guess I would say, who was in the service for quite a while, but has retired from the service, he's very helpful when people are using our transportation service and he knows that they're actually eligible for certain benefits and things that the VA would actually pay them for. And we actually can't recoup some of that same money. It can only go directly to the veteran. So he often takes them on their rides and then helps them get connected to the benefits. And so
Oh,
they
that's
may not
awesome.
end up using, our transportation program beyond that first time, but it's so wonderful. It's beneficial for
Yeah,
everyone.
once they,
So
most veterans don't get their benefits because it's so complicated to navigate.
yes, very much
So
so.
I just was, this is just something that bounced off my head as we're doing this. You have a group of vans, right? That
Mhm.
you can take people. You have veterans that may come there. You might want to. After this is over with, I want to send you an email and introduce you to John Baldwin. John
His
has,
name.
huh?
I reckon. Oh, is he with the military museum, the
Yes,
Carmel? Yes,
yes.
yes,
He's got that one going now, and I could see where you guys could do field trips or something there.
absolutely,
And that could be a way
absolutely.
of getting people in your door to get in the
Yeah,
vans to go there.
absolutely. Well, and it's interesting you would say that. So a recent partnership that we're starting to do as well is with Jewish Family Services, which are actually in Indy,
Hmm.
but they had a program where twice a month there are some folks in a lower income housing area who there was a program with Sequoia that has just lost its funding. And so they, even for a June 1st Holocaust Remembrance service, had all of a sudden, like 3 weeks before it, their transportation option was gone. And so they thought of us, they called us, and we actually provided now they had some funding from grant funding. So it was really nice that we could be supported in using these vehicles that are
Right.
costly, but we were able to help them do their Holocaust program and get people there. And now we're going to be their provider for twice a month, even though they're out of Hamilton County. We're treating it, it's
Isn't
part
there
of our
Hooverwood,
mission.
or is it
I
down near
think
Hoover, down Hoover Road, or
I think
by
so,
the
but honestly,
JCC?
Mark, my transportation coordinator, has been
Okay.
working on all of that,
Well, the
so I don't
JCC
have
is
the
down there. That's
details.
where a lot of stuff
I
happens
think
down
it
there.
is, yeah. And I just love though that we're doing it when it's not impacting what we do every day, but
Mhm.
the asset, just like the asset of our building. And we have people who rent part of our building when it's not in use. Like I mentioned, the pool for an infant drowning prevention program,
Yeah.
and our hockey coaches next door have a room here that they rent because they do about 70 12 to 18-year-old hockey players they are doing conditioning and certain things with. So here, this beautiful asset that can actually help a similar mission and
Yeah.
purpose
I can
we're
just see
doing.
a lot of cross pollination possibilities.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just happened.
Hmm.
So we're definitely open to that. And yes, I would love to talk to John.
Okay. Well, I will send you an email and introduce you guys because I just see that you guys might be, because you're not far apart
Right,
from a
right.
drive distance. It's
Well,
very close.
and we have met, but I don't know if I think he'll remember me because I was with a different nonprofit before here, and we did some things with Stronger Veterans, Stronger Communities, which is
Yeah.
a Hamilton County veterans, and one of our there's something called Carmel Seniors Speak. It's a big Facebook group or something, and
Right.
that gentleman also does things at the American Legion a lot, so he's often letting us know about that or wants to bring some of that here. So yes, we'd love to continue to serve our veterans, and Hamilton County has lots and lots of them.
They do have a whole bunch. So, and a lot of my correlations come from the history side of it, and then,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
Life's Copilot. overlapping with a lot of the senior veterans, so I'm doing a lot of stuff with that. So that's why I kind of have
That's
that
awesome. Yeah, I
relationships.
love
And
that.
so, well, this is very cool. So, what kind of things would you like to make sure people know about you and your facility, and how to get them out to take a look? Are they when they come in? Do they can they come in and play around in there for a while before they make a
Yeah,
decision?
you can get a free pass for a day. So we do allow people to come and they have to sign a waiver, but everybody signs a waiver if you're in here because if you're going to do anything physical, you just need to know, yeah, that's
Yeah,
on you. Make sure.
yeah.
But yeah, you are free to come and check it out and actually participate in some classes for a day. Before you even do that, we love to have people come in and do a tour so they can really see it all and then see, and then if they want to try it out for a day, try it out for a day, and then become a member. So yes, getting people here, like you said, is what we most want, so that people can see all that's here. We also have a monthly newsletter, which
Oh, there you go.
is wonderful, and we do have some drop-off points. I would love more drop-off points, but right in the middle, sort of always has the calendar. But there's recipes, there's articles on senior fitness, there's a crossword, there's just a nice mix of things that keep us learning about how we stay vibrant and active, and then what's going on in this building. And then we do have a Facebook page and a website, of course, that puts all that stuff out there. I know this isn't necessarily getting everyone in, but it just popped into my head on our Facebook page. We do a lot with Senior Medicare Patrol, SMP, which is Medicare fraud, educating people
Yeah.
on how not to. And we're finding people are really grateful and surprised when they learn some of the things that they haven't been doing, that they could easily identify that maybe there has been something fraudulent on one of their medical bills. They're being charged for some kind of equipment that they never used, and
I have
et
another
cetera.
question. I don't know if you've looked into this or not, but have you ever considered being a having somebody from SHIP that's in there periodically to
We
help?
have people from SHIP, so I'm
Okay,
glad that you said that. Yes, we have a little office that we have, I think it's at least 5, and it might be 6 or 7 volunteers that are SHIP volunteers. They take appointments. I actually took a picture of one of them today when because I walk around the building and we'll take pictures of things going on at times. So yeah, we have SHIP counselors here. So people don't also, again, have to be a member. If they connect with the SHIP program, they can call us, come over, and just get that help in signing up for Medicare. And the folks who are doing this are volunteers. They don't get anything for it, so they're not committed to trying to get you to sign up with one thing or another.
right.
They really help people
Well,
do that.
Bruce, who kind of runs that volunteer program or whatever. I don't know if you know him.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does. Yep. So
So
they meet all here sometimes.
he was telling me a story about how valuable those things are because he had a lady that they were talking to who was on the wrong program for the
Mm.
meds that she had. So she was paying an extra $35,000 a year for her meds, and they were able to erase that completely, but she'd been doing it for a long time because she didn't know that there was a way of fixing it.
Jim, I'm so glad you brought that up. See, you know our center, and so you're helping me remember all the things that are here. It's amazing what's under this one roof.
Hmm.
And our newest is we have a community health worker here. So Socoa has a community health worker program, and they are like social workers who help seniors with whatever they might need. If there's food needs, if they're not sure how to navigate and find things, they can meet with the community health worker. And again, you don't have to be a member of here. You can just come have an appointment and they happen to be here. It's also a nice perk for our members that they're here in the building twice a week. Currently, it's Mondays and Thursdays from 9 to noon. If we have a lot of interest, we can have her here a third day, and we could have her for like more hours. So we just started this June 1st. She's already got appointments and people are loving her. And so it's another wonderful benefit here. But again, if you're using any of those services, we're talking about SHIP or coming for just the meal program or, this community health worker, you don't have to be a member.
Right.
But once you're here, like we said, that's another way that people get to come in and then see it and then go, wow, wait a minute. Maybe there's things here like I would really like, and I can, not be so lonely, make new friends. People really do. I think it's the coolest thing that, I've met a couple of women who are in their 80s and they literally met at age 60 and they are like each other's best friends. So we don't always think about that, developing a best friend after age 60, but it can happen.
It can. Well, this is great. I really enjoyed having you on here today. I will make sure to send you an email right after this with John. I'll send you a
Great.
copy of this video. You can use however you want. Okay. And then,
Thank you.
so we'll go from there. So, well, thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me, Jim. I appreciate it.
All righty. You take care. Have a
Have a
good
great
evening.
evening.
All righty. Bye bye.
Bye.